Hey guys, today I'm going to be solving Leetcode problem 217, contains duplicate. So given an integer array, nums, return true if any value appears at least twice in the array, and return false if every element is distinct. My first thought is to utilize a hash map. And I'll get into the code in a second, but what it's telling us to do is to iterate through nums, and if you encounter any duplicate number, to return true, right? So when we're first looking at 1, so we can see with this data set that there's obviously going to be a duplicate, but how can we track that, right? And that's how that's why we're going to use a hash map. And a hash map is just a key value pair. So to implement that, we're going to first set the key of the hash map to each value. Let's say, for example, we have 1, and that's going to be set to, we're just going to set it to 1 for now, right? So 1 is set to 1 for the amount of times it's seen inside of the hash map. And we can do that for every single element inside of the array. But how are we gonna trigger a response so that whenever there is a duplicate, so let's say this would be 1, but let's say once we reach the second element in the array, this is going to be now set to 2, right? And here we're going to be returning true because we have found a duplicate. To use a hash map, we're just going to, let's name it count is equal to curly braces, and that's going to initialize a hash map for us. And to iterate through the array, we're going to say for val in nums. So remember what I said about if we encounter a duplicate, we're just going to return true right away, like it says here. So return true if any value appears at least twice in the array. So if val, right now val is, for example, 1. If val not in count, we're going to first add it, right? So count at val, count at 1, and we're gonna just set that to 1 for the amount of times we've seen it. So this is if val is not already in the array, right? What if it is? So we'll put else. If it is, we're just going to return false right away because we found our duplicate, right? So for every value, every element in this array, it's going to check if val is not in count, and it's going to set that equal to 1. And if it is, that's going to satisfy the condition of there being a duplicate, and therefore we're just going to return false right away, right? So if we end up going through this entire array without finding a duplicate, we're just going to return true. Ooh. Actually, let's switch these around. My mistake. Return false, or return true. And if there isn't a duplicate, we're going to return false. And that should be it. My mistake. And we can see that this is not the most optimal solution, but I feel like it's the most intuitive. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again.